Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about the deck I used to play at the Genesys Open hosted by the Genesys Discord server. So, this is a fairly standard Artmage deck with nothing special in it. The major two differences from a very standard Artmage deck is that I'm playing a Hero List Prisma instead of playing Fusion Deployment, and I am playing a Xyz package, which is why I'm not playing Fusion Deployment. Other than that, fairly standard Artmage deck, only one Flare. That's because I'm playing 16 pieces of non-engine. The 16 pieces of non-engine are hand traps for the most part, and 3 copies of Ultimate Slayer. Ultimate Slayer is just there because it's probably the best one of the non-engine board breakers, because it's basically 2 cards. I'm playing 2 Veiler. Veiler I think is excellent and probably should play the 3rd Veiler. 3 Mourner. I also really like Mourner. I think Mourner was actually quite good, even though it's significantly worse than Veiler. 3 Fualos. Fua, I don't know. I like Fua in theory, but every game I played with Fua, it felt like Fua was kind of mediocre in the matchups because people set up unbreakable endboards with very few special summons from deck and extra deck. They'll make a few here and there, but I think you might want to go down to 2 Fua, 3 Veiler instead of 2 Veiler, 3 Fua. And then Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, which I think Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion was just a mistake. The card was just bad. I over-tuned for the Dracotail matchup, and I let my opinion on the Dracotail matchup sway me too much. I think, in retrospect, overcorrected, and Ghost Ogre was okay. On to the side deck. So first off, we have the cards I played for going first. We have Blizzard. Blizzard is excellent. It negates Dark Ruler no more, and also negates Forbidden Droplet. It also can just randomly negate spells. Having a 3rd negate is really good. Double or Nothing. This is a tech from the Pokemon trading card game. You play 2 copies of your Garnet instead of 1 copy of your Garnet, which decreases your probability of drawing your Garnet from 12.5% to 2%, to less than 2%. 2 copies of Artmage Masterwork Succession. This increases the probability that you draw an anti-Nibiru line from 42%. Now you go all the way up to 57.7%, which is significantly better. Still not great. There's still some kinks to work out there, but it's still okay. 2nd Flare and 3rd Assault. This allows you to play around Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit and Vados the Eruption of Dragon of Distinction more often. One of the number one thing to realize is that if you can set up, you win, and if not, if you are going first, and therefore you just try to maximize the probability that you get set up through your opponent's disruption. And then we have 5 Stupid Floodgates, 2 Macrocosmos, and 3 Dimensional Fissure. They're really good against Cool Tune. They're really good against Dracotail. And they're really good against Monarchs, which are 3 of the 5 top decks. 2 copies of Gordian Slicer, it was okay. I just boarded in for going second because I didn't want to play Double or Nothing in ZW. I think there's better cards. The extra deck, Nerva. Nerva's probably the worst card in the extra deck. It's okay, don't get me wrong, and you still want to play it, but if it was 15 points, I probably wouldn't be playing it. Artmage Geoctorus, this card's really good. It's a Artmage card, and it's an Omni Negate. Not much to say. Asmiel Sylvia, this card was also really good. It's an Omni Negate, which is really good, and it blocks Nibiru, which is excellent. It doesn't always block Nibiru, but it's far and away your best and most likely way to beat Nibiru. Garua, this card is okay, and sort of a part of the Ultimate Slayer package. False Machine Skullwagon, this card was important for the Dracotail matchup. Just being able to destroy spell traps with Ultimate Slayer is nice. Aggregator, I'm playing Aggregator over Aggregator over Valen, just because while Valen gets to destroy spell traps, Aggregator is good at negating monsters, and most Xyz decks tend to be extremely monster heavy and spell trap light, and so it's probably better to play Aggregator over the one. Malong, just the only one. And then we have the Xyz slot package. So as I mentioned before, we have Utopia Double for ULUR. The nice thing about Utopia Double is that Utopia Double finds Double or Nothing, and Double or Nothing can be food for Artmage, Academic Arts, Arcane Arts, Acropolis. This is why I am playing that card over Raid Raptor Brave Strix into Raid Raptor Glorious Bright, which is another option you have. Not a lot of people try this one. Some people will like it, some people won't. The main advantage of Raid Raptor Glorious Bright is Raid Raptor Glorious Bright gives you a negate that can negate Dark Ruler no more, and other spells and traps, also notably Rahu Dracotail and Ketu Dracotail, can be negated by Raid Raptor Glorious Bright, whereas they can't be negated by Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. Ultimately, the reason I decided to use Utopia Double Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray was because Utopia Double can be made with Moltormi Fulos, and also because the extra spell card comes up a lot when you're playing all these hand traps. Now, the other part of the XZ slot package is the Raider's Knight package. We have Raider's Knight. Now, Raider's Knight is a bit special because in order to make Raider's Knight, you can only use Medius the Pure. The way typically you make a rank 4 in this deck, just to explain, you use the second effect of Medius the Pure to shuffle a monster from your hand. This would often be a hand trap like Ghost Bell or Mourner. And then you use the second effect, well, the first effect of Academic Arts Acropolis to get an extra normal summon. So one Medius the Pure from your hand or one from your graveyard, combos to make a rank 4. You get the second Medius the Pure through Artmage, Vandalism, Assault, gets the second level 4 monster, or you can get Moltormi Fulos. So like if you, for example, play Arcane Academic Arts Acropolis, and then you play Medius the Pure as your extra normal, you can use Moltormi Fulos plus Medius the Pure's ability. Or if you, say, have Acropolis, you Graflare for Assault to get Medius, and then you get your second Medius, and then you use Moltormi Fulos. Or if you have Medius in hand, you play Medius, and then you Graflare for Assault for second Medius, and with 2 Mediuses, you can do the thing. So there's a lot of ways. The other parts of the XZ slot package, we have Raid Raptor Stranger Falcon, which deals damage, which is nice. You can go Raider's Knight into Raid Raptor Stranger Falcon, pop your opponent's monster, go into Full Armor Dark Knight Lancer, and then you go into Star Slayer Typhon, spin back an opponent's monster, and then you just OTK your opponent. The other option you have is Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon, which does just OTK them. And that's sort of the deck I played. Now let's go on to the deck I probably should have played, which is here. So the major differences between this deck, I'm playing third Veiler over third Fua. I just think it's more important because of the Monarch matchup. You need to play that. And instead of playing Ghost Bell and 1 Ghost Ogre, I'm playing 3 Nibiru, 1 DD Crow. DD Crow is just there for Monarchs, and Nibiru, my opinion of Nibiru has changed significantly. I now think Nibiru is really good against Vanquish Soul, because if you negate the the Genesys Archfiend, you can then Nibiru them on 5th summon, which is really powerful. Similarly, if you are playing against Cooltoon, the fact that you have Nibiru means that they will either play around Nibiru and then play a low to ground combo, which means that they kill themselves, or they don't play around Nibiru and lose to Nibiru 33% of the time. Basically turning a matchup that is kind of okay, but not great, into a matchup that's like incredibly good. The only side changes are I would play 1 copy of Macrocosmos and 2 copies of DD Crow over the Gordian Slicer and Dimensional Fissure. Macrocosmos just has a lot of weird synergies with being a trap card. For example, you can use Artmage Litera to balance Power Patron, and then Power Patron Nerva, and then pop your opponent's monsters, Chainlink 2, and then Chainlink 3, you make Macrocosmos, and so that lets you Macrocosmos resolves, and you pop all your opponent's monsters, banish them. If you had Dimensional Fissure in that spot, you wouldn't be able to do anything with Power Patron making Nerva. And so there's just a few scenarios where Macrocosmos being a trap is nice because of its ability to activate itself at spell speed 2. The only extra deck change other than that, we have 1 copy of Secretarian Dragon over the Garua. This is a nod to the fact that since I'm not playing Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, I want a good target for anti-Dracotail cards, and this is a good anti-Dracotail card. And finally, I'm playing Raid Raptor Blaze Falcon over Raid Raptor Stranger Falcon. Raid Raptor Blaze Falcon basically Raigeki is your opponent. The reason I wasn't playing this one before was because of my fear of the branded matchup, but branded's become less popular, and as a result of playing Nibiru, I am less concerned about branded in general, because I think I can beat them by just trolling their resources. And if I face off against branded and I end up in a situation where I can't beat them because of Ice Jade, I can still at least make Typhon. but I think it's less likely than before that Ice Jade will roll me because I have all of these hand traps that are good against them. Thank you for your time, and thanks for watching.